All right, so right now I am working with several clients that are dealing with in-home aggression between multiple dogs, meaning at least two dogs. And I've said this before, and in my opinion, those are the most difficult cases to deal with, because it takes a lot to get it right, and it takes the right owners. Without the right owners, it's just, I won't waste my time. I have more of those clients right now than I've ever had in my life before. You know, it used to be you get one here and there. Now a good chunk of my current clients are dealing with that situation. And I think a big reason is more and more people are getting dogs when they already have at least one dog that isn't well behaved or that has behavioral problems itself. And a lot of people think if they get another dog, well, it's going to help this dog. I'm yet to see someone who has a badly behaved dog get another dog and say, man, it fixed all our problems. No, you're usually going to just have two really badly behaved dogs, okay? I've talked about this at length in the past, because I've documented some of the cases over the years, so some of the dogs you guys have seen. I remember one thing that, if you guys remember Duke and Herc from about 8 years ago, you know, Chris and Anna are some of the best clients I've ever had, and what they did with those dogs was remarkable. You know, dogs that were killing each other, you know, went home and never had another fight, ever, till one of them died of old age, you know, 7 years later. But there was something that Chris said to me that was really valuable for him to understand, and that was about the 2-year mark. Without ever having an incident, he saw a sudden change in the dog's behavior because they had got a little lax on the rules and boundaries, and, you know, started getting comfortable because the dogs were doing so well. But he was able to pick up on that immediately, and just go back to really being very, very consistent on the communication inside the home. So again, that went away very quickly, never had an issue. But there is one thing that's associated with all these cases that went really well. When I say really well, I mean lifelong results where the dogs never fought again. And I don't think I've ever talked about it before. If I have, it's just been in passing, and I've never heard anyone else discuss it. Of course, there's a lot of things that go into making it right, but there's one really valuable thing that I believe is very valuable. And one thing that all these dogs that succeeded and were able to get along the rest of their lives had in common is they were all capable and given the opportunity to be off leash outside of their backyard and inside of their four walls of their home, meaning they were able to get out into open spaces and do what dogs are meant to do. And that's move like a dog and run and be dogs, you know. And when you're able to do that, maybe two dogs that, you know, really had issues before, now when they're off leash and not restricted and not in the same confined types of spaces that they're used to being in, now they're able to negotiate space in different ways if something bothers them, right? If you guys go back to the go home video of Duke and Herc, what did we do? We went for a long walk, me, both owners, both dogs, and then we got to an open field and released them. Let them go be dogs off leash, right? And it was really important for us to watch the behavior when they're off leash, and it just helps them so much on so many levels, right? But think about this. If you have something as difficult as dogs wanting to kill each other inside your home, and they're not trained enough, you can't trust them to be off leash. They will blow you off and chase things and run off. Or you can't even go for a nice leisurely walk with your dogs, right? Because they'll bark at other dogs and pull you on the leash, and they won't walk with you if you need them to. If you can't accomplish those two things, how are you supposed to accomplish something so difficult as two dogs living in the same confined home wanting to kill each other, right? So it's something we haven't really talked about, I don't think, but allowing your dogs to fulfill their own needs and be off leash and be dogs and run and chase things and dig and smell things. That's a big part of the process of getting dogs to where they need to be, able to live under one roof together without killing each other. All right. So again, if you're going to just focus on the behavior you want to eliminate, I think you're going to be in for a struggle, you know. So I don't focus on the behavior we want to eliminate. In fact, I just don't give the dogs the opportunity. We set that foundation, we train, and we do everything we need to before we know, okay, now the dog's ready to do this. Let's see how it works out now. And you know, usually that's going to be a very, very positive outcome. So think about that. For you folks that own dogs like that, or trainers that are working dogs like that, can you take those dogs, you know, and we don't train them together to get to that level, right? The training is done one at a time. Then when we get to the level where both dogs are trained where we need them to be, then we can get them to a place and let them go and watch them interact in a more productive way. So I hope this helps even just one person out there, but think about that when you're dealing with situations like that. All right, folks? Peace.